I can still picture myself lying in that hospital bed, staring at the vacant chairs where my parents were supposed to be. The nurse had just finished prepping me for surgery, which was set to begin in 2 hours. "They're not coming, are they?" I asked Dr. Chin, my mentor and the only person who hadn't abandoned me. His hand tightened around mine, his eyes filled with quiet empathy. "Your sister's graduation started an hour ago," he said gently. "Of course. Alexandra," I muttered, bitter. Megan's college graduation, a mid-tier business school, no less, was apparently more important than my own critical spinal surgery. I had pushed myself to the breaking point during triple shifts as a surgical resident, and now my career literally hung in the balance. My phone buzzed. A message from Mom. "Megan looks stunning accepting her diploma. Everyone's here. Don't worry about your surgery, it's just a back problem." Just a back problem. The herniated disc that could end my surgical career if not treated correctly. But Megan, our golden child, had always been the priority. They sent a video of Megan giving her valedictorian speech. Dad texted next, "We'll show it to you after your surgery." I silenced my phone and fought back tears. Dr. Chin's expression darkened, sensing my pain. "You know," he said quietly, "there's an attending position opening next year. One that could lead to chief of surgery if you play it right." I looked at him, haze of painkillers clouding my vision. "Do you really think I could make it?" "Alexandra," he said, eyes unwavering, "you're the most gifted surgeon I've ever trained. This is only a temporary setback. Your future, it's going to be remarkable." As they wheeled me toward the operating room, I silently vowed, one day, I wouldn't just be the sister they overlooked. I'd be someone impossible to ignore. 7 years later, I adjusted my white coat in my office at Metropolitan General Hospital. Dr. Alexandra Chin, Chief of Surgery, was embroidered on the pocket. Dr. Chin, my adoptive father and mentor, had legally adopted me 2 years after my surgery. My biological parents hadn't even noticed. Dr. Chin, my assistant Sarah knocked, "Resident orientation begins in 20 minutes. And, there's something you should know." I looked up. "What is it?" "Your sister, Megan," she said. "She's in this year's incoming class. She just finished medical school." I froze. Megan, the sister whose graduation my parents had prioritized over my critical surgery, the one who had spent years flaunting her business career while dismissing my medical achievements. "Let me guess," I said, the memories flooding back, family dinners I'd missed, celebrations for Megan's minor accomplishments while my milestones were ignored. "She's decided business wasn't exciting enough?" Sarah nodded. "She's telling everyone in the lobby that she's going to revolutionize hospital administration, thanks to her business background." I swiped through the resident files. There she was, Megan Wilson, MD, confident, polished, and photogenic, the same perfection she always displayed in family pictures I was absent from. "She doesn't know who your chief of surgery is," Sarah said. "Neither does the rest of the family, right?" "No," I smiled, thinking about all the times they asked about my work without bothering to learn anything. They never cared enough to ask. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom, the first in months. "Megan starts her residency today. First doctor in the family. We're so proud. First doctor in the family." I stared at those words, remembering all the graduations, awards, and promotions they had ignored. The adoption they hadn't attended. The milestones they never saw. I smoothed my coat and took a deep breath. Time to make this orientation unforgettable. The lecture hall buzzed with new residents, their crisp white coats and eager expressions filling the room. Megan was in the front row, already chatting confidently with those around her. "My business degree gives me a unique edge," I heard her say. "I'll probably be running this hospital in a few years." I lingered in the wings, listening. My family's thrilled, first doctor in the house. My sister tried medicine too, I think. But after some surgery, she couldn't handle it and went back to normal doctor work. Sarah touched my arm. "Ready, Dr. Chin." I thought of the past 7 years, the endless nights honing my skills, the lives I'd saved, the department I now led, all while my parents had cheered for Megan's every small triumph. Oh yes, I thought, stepping forward. I'm more than ready. Silence fell as I walked onto the stage. 200 residents watched me, but my eyes searched only for one. Megan's confident grin faltered, then broke, as recognition hit her like a wave. "Welcome to Metropolitan General," I began, my voice carrying through the hall. "I'm Dr. Alexandra Chin, Chief of Surgery and your residency director." Megan's mouth moved wordlessly. Her peers glanced between us, sensing the tension but unable to grasp its depth. "Many of you come from impressive backgrounds," I continued, eyes locked on my sister. "Business degrees are fine, but what counts here is skill in the operating room, dedication to patients, and composure under pressure. Everything else is just noise." Sarah handed me the resident assignments. I took them, watching Megan shift uncomfortably in her seat. "And regarding rotations," I said, pausing deliberately, "you'll be paired with attending physicians for mentorship. Except," I allowed a slight smile. "Dr. Megan Wilson, in accordance with hospital nepotism policy, you'll be assigned to County General." "What?" Megan shot up. "You can't do that." "I can," I replied. "Bylaws are clear, no special treatment for relatives of the Chief of Surgery." Whispers rippled through the room. Megan's friends instinctively backed away. "But Mom and Dad said I could handle this," she stammered. I smiled professionally. Perhaps they should have shown up at some of my ceremonies. They might have thought differently. After dismissing the orientation, I returned to my office. Within 12 minutes, my phone was flooded with family messages. "Mom, how dare you humiliate your sister?" This was her moment. "Dad, you must reverse this immediately." I let the calls go to voicemail and focused on the emergency surgery schedule. Then the office door slammed open, Megan, makeup smeared by tears. "This is revenge, isn't it?" she demanded. I looked up calmly. "No, Megan. This is policy and professionalism, things our family never taught you." "I worked hard to get here," she shot back. "Really?" I stood, the light catching my white coat. "Tell me, when did you last endure a 36-hour shift? When have you held someone's heart in your hands, literally fighting for their life? When did you sacrifice everything, including family support, for your patients?" She fell silent. Exactly as I expected. I handed her the transfer papers. "County General is an excellent hospital. You'll gain experience there, without any family interference." "Mom and Dad? They'll never forgive you." She tried one final protest. I laughed, genuinely amused. "Forgive me for what?" I asked, leaning against my desk. "For becoming Chief of Surgery? For being the youngest department head in the hospital's history? Or for finally proving that the daughter they overlooked became someone they can't ignore?" "We didn't ignore you," Megan muttered. "Really?" I tapped my tablet, pulling up old photos. "Here's my medical school graduation, empty seats where Mom and Dad should have been. My chief resident ceremony, you were at your business school gala. And my adoption by Dr. Chin? You had a job interview that day." "Adoption?" Megan breathed. "What adoption?" "Exactly," I said, letting the words sink in. "The man who guided me, who stayed with me through surgery while our parents celebrated your graduation, legally became my father 2 years ago. Not that anyone noticed I even changed my name." Megan sank into a chair, realization dawning. "So that's why you're Dr. Chin?" "Yes," I replied. He was there for every victory and every setback. While our biological parents were busy applauding your MBA, Dr. Chin was helping me rise to Chief of Surgery. My phone buzzed, Mom demanding a family meeting. I ignored it. "You know what's funny?" I said, setting the phone aside. "All those years, they treated you like the favorite. Now, I'm the one with the power to shape your career." Life has a sense of irony. Megan straightened, brushing off tears. I'll succeed at County General. I'll prove I belong here. I have no doubt, I said. But you'll do it on your own. Not your family name. Not that it matters much in medicine. I returned to my work. Oh, and Megan? Don't forget to drop off your MetroGen ID at HR on the way out. Once she left, Sarah brought the afternoon surgery schedule. Your parents are waiting in the lobby, she said. I glanced at the list, 3 complicated procedures that required my full attention. Tell them to schedule an appointment like anyone else. And if they push, remind them security removes all unauthorized visitors, even family. I pulled on my surgical gloves. Time to save some lives. Later that evening, after finishing a complex valve replacement, something impossible for me before my back surgery, I saw a final text from Mom, "We just want what's best for Megan." I remembered that empty hospital room from 7 years ago, all the milestones they missed, and the father who chose me when they wouldn't. I typed back, "I want what's best for her career. That's why I sent her somewhere she can't lean on family." Consider it a lesson in handling real pressure. Then I turned off my phone, hung up my white coat, and headed home. Tomorrow would bring new surgeries, new challenges, and new reminders that the daughter they ignored had become someone they couldn't overlook. Dr. Chin, my true father, called as I left. "Heard about today. You okay?" I smiled, touching the name badge that carried his legacy. "Better than okay." Finally, they saw me, the chief of surgery. He corrected me gently. "Exactly who you are. Sometimes success isn't about proving them wrong. Sometimes it's about being so right their approval doesn't matter. And sometimes, it's about showing your family that the daughter they ignored now holds the reins over their golden child's future." The next morning, I saw Megan leaving with her box of belongings. Our eyes met across the lobby. "Good luck at County," I called. "I hear their chief of surgery is excellent, though not quite as young as MetroGen's. Sometimes revenge isn't served in the OR. Sometimes it's delivered with transfer papers and a reminder that family ties can be professionally binding."